Okay, so let's go over the syllabus for our class this summer. If you ever need this information, you can find the semester and the year here, the CRN number 30324 here, and then the title of our class there. Um, I am your professor, Professor Arnetta Smith. As you can see, I have my master's degree in ethnic studies, and it also lists my full call email. Now, we'll talk about this in a minute, but it does have my email. I would prefer that you use Canvas when you're mailing me in regards to this class, however. But if you're having some issues with the Conversations app on Canvas, please feel free to use this email. But I'm more likely to get your message if you go through Canvas. And that the only reason for that is that I get bombarded with a lot of emails in my regular email system. So in order for me to organize and prioritize students, I suggest that you use the Canvas messaging app called Conversations. And again, we'll look at that when we go through Canvas. There are student office hours. I'm available in real time Wednesdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. You can get to me via the Remind app, which is a text app system, or Canvas Confer Zoom, which is directly within the Canvas app. And there, that would be more of a video office hour. My Confer Zoom is not quite set up yet. I'm hoping that it will be set up before this coming Wednesday. Um, and so once it gets set up, I'll probably send you another video to show you how to use the appointment system in Confer Zoom. Let's keep going. This course is a survey of the African American experience in the United States from its African roots to 1865. So we'll be looking at pre-colonial Africa and to the end of the Civil War, which was in 1865, emphasizing the roles of African Americans in the political, social, economic development of American society. We'll cover things like U.S. enslavement and its consequences in the outbreak of the American Civil War. We'll look at the struggle for Black emancipation and liberation, and then also the social economic conditions of free Black people living in the United States during that time. As you know, this class fulfills a bunch of areas, but most importantly, the U.S. history requirement and the multicultural education. So if you need those two requirements for graduation or transfer, you're in the right place. The second thing I want to talk about is our orientation. We have to have an online orientation. This is a mandatory orientation that you have to complete. So under course structures and expectation, you have an online orientation module that needs to be completed by Wednesday, June 10th at 5 p.m. If you do not complete this by that time, that gives you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to complete this. If you can't complete it for whatever reason, I will have to drop you from the course. As a lot of you found out early in the registration process, this course is extremely impacted. And it's actually closed because of so many people on the wait list trying to get into the course. We've had to upgrade this class to a triple. In order to accommodate. So if you, for whatever reason, feel that you won't be able to keep up with the duration of the class, with the length of the class, or you won't be able to do this required online module, my suggestion is for you to go ahead and drop the class and try to take it in the fall, where things will be at a slower pace. Okay, what you can expect. Classes online, I don't have any live classes. Everything is pre-recorded lecture videos. So you can expect to complete any of the modules. There's going to be, with the exception of the first week, there's going to be 4 modules, each corresponding to the 4 days, Monday through Thursday, that we meet every week. So you can expect in each module's video-based lectures, discussion, forum activities, collaborative learning activities, group work, assignments, and then analyzing films, documentary clips, and some other multimedia. So depending on where you are with your skill level and comfort, please expect to spend between 6 to 10 hours per week completing the modules and the assignments. Now, when we're talking about the modules, a lot of we're going to be really working in the Canvas module section. Everything is going to be listed there. Every single thing that needs to be completed will be within those module sections. Every week, those 4 modules, depending on the number of days they are open Monday morning, and then they close Thursday. So what that means is that the last assignments need to be completed by Thursday. We'll talk more about assignment due dates and things like that once we get down. Obviously, everyone needs access to some sort of computer since this is an online course. So computer, internet. I also recommend having an Acrobat reader because there are going to be a few instances where I send you PDFs to read. With that said, I know that not everyone can buy a computer. And what I found in the past is that some people try to use their cell phone. Most of the assignments, you can use the Canvas app through your cell phone, especially the discussions, viewing the lectures, and then all of the quizzes. But there is a major paper that's due that you will not be able to submit through the Canvas app. So you do need to have access to a computer. If you find that you can't buy a computer or you don't have access to a computer, Fullerton College is allowing students to borrow a computer. So I've here, if you can say, you can find the form online by clicking here. If you click on this link, or go through the Canvas resources page, you'll find the form for you to fill out in order for you to request a laptop computer. I truly believe that everyone in the class can pass this course with an A, B, or a C. What you need to do is engage with the materials. You should be checking your Canvas every single day, Monday through Thursday. You should check it multiple times a day, even, especially when we're talking about discussions where you're discussing within groups versus like just, putting your response and then that's it, right? So be sure to be checking. If you're having difficulties keeping up with the readings, each reading per day is about 25 to 30 pages. I would suggest creating a study group, a reading group, where you divide up the readings and then you communicate with each other about what you learned in those readings. I don't have any issues with that. I also require that you start to think critically. That goes beyond opinion and can be backed up by data, by facts, by some sort of evidence. Okay. If you find that you do have a strong opinion, make sure that you are doing the research you need in order to back up that idea. Okay. In order to get full participation points, you have to complete your assignments on a timely basis. What will happen if you consistently fail to participate is that you may be dropped from the course. So again, course communications, office hours, I'm available virtually, either through text using Remind or Canvas Confer Zoom, which will be a virtual meeting. I've set up the meetings to be about 10 minutes per student, 2 minutes per slot. If you feel like you might need more than 10 minutes, my suggestion is for you to request 2 slots back to back. That's 20 minutes, etc. Any announcements that I have will be posted on Canvas in the announcement section, and then also the announcements will be on the homepage. We'll look at that in just a second as we go through Canvas, especially if you're not familiar with the Canvas system. Although I think a majority of you already know where a lot of these things are. Again, as far as email, we'll use the conversation feature, which is the little letter to send emails to me. I do ask that when you're submitting messages through the conversations features, please put in your subject line your name, the number of the week. Like for example, if it was this week and you had something about orientation, you would put your name week 1 and then orientation, right? So make sure that you use something very similar to this format when you're sending me emails. See if I can just make it a little big. There you go. The next thing is if you have questions, generally in the discussion forum, you will have a form that's posted at the top of the discussion section that's called Got Questions. These are for general questions about the class. For example, do anyone know when the weekly glossary is due? That's all on your syllabus, but if maybe you don't have a copy of it, which you should have because there will be an online version through Canvas, but someone can answer you immediately. So any general questions, please post them there. If you have specific questions that have not been answered either in the instructions or through the resources, then please feel free to go ahead and email me. Discussion forums are a way for you to engage with each other about the course content. Within each module, you'll have questions that link to the forum. Most modules have 1 questions, although there are exceptions that may have 2. I don't really try to do more than 2 just because we're already in such a fast-paced class that I didn't really want to overwhelm you. So when you're in these forums, just remember to be respectful and open to other people's views. I honestly don't want to read, nor do I want to get any emails from students feeling like they've been disrespected or anything like that. So please, be respectful. Write in a way that you would love someone to talk to you in a way, because sometimes it gets lost. Our intent gets lost when we're online, right? We've all experienced it when we text something to a friend and they took it the wrong way and you didn't mean it that wrong way. So just, be open and respectful when you're in these discussion forums. With that said, I did post a link here for the Netiquette. It's a pretty good site that kind of outlines how you should behave and interact with one another online, right? The Netiquette. It's etiquettes for net, for online, right? So please be sure to look at that. There will be a few questions in the orientation quiz that will be related to things found on that page. So make sure you review it. Okay. So our textbook for this course is going to be From Slavery to Freedom. You have the ISBN number here, and then also that's the ISBN number, and then also the authors of the book here. This is the year of the book. It's also the 9th edition. I did send an email last week to give you this information, but in case you just added the class or for whatever reason you didn't see that email, then know that that's our book. This book is $100 and something. My suggestion is to rent the book online. There are ebook versions, or find a cheaper version online. Or if you know someone who's already taken the class, reach out to them and see if they want to sell your book. Sell you their book. I think I said it right the first time. Anyway. The second thing that is required for the class is the film series Roots by Alex Haley. We will be watching there's 4 episodes in this series. We'll be watching the entire series throughout the semester. Amazon has it for a little bit less than $12 for the entire series, which I personally think is a good deal. It used to be $20. And then if you have a Hulu account, though, you can access it for free. If you don't have a Hulu account, I will just tell you that our class is about 30 days, is about a month. So my suggestion, if you don't want to pay for it, is to sign up for Hulu, because I think they give you like some of the time free for you to try it out. So I would sign up the day that I need to watch the film, And then if it's a 30-day trial, I can't remember what the trial is for Hulu, but at least, utilize some of that trial to do the work for this class. You need a computer. We already talked about that. Internet access. We'll be using Canvas as our online classroom. Again, please make sure you're checking that daily, Monday through Thursday. I will never post anything Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And in fact, I will not even be available Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I will respond to emails within 24 hours unless it's sent on Thursday. If it's sent on Thursday, expect a response on Monday. Okay. Obviously, you need something to take notes with. That could be your computer, that could be an iPad or other tablet, or an old school notebook and writing to take the lecture notes, because you'll need both lecture notes and the notes from your reading. So make sure you have something to help you with that. I also suggest and require a dictionary, mostly because there are going to be times where you'll need your dictionary, right? And that is one assignment. You have weekly glossaries that are due. You need your dictionary to find the definition of terms, right, that you're learning throughout the course, right? We'll talk more about that when we get in assignments. Lastly, the Remind app. Again, remember, office hours, urgent messages, and any updates are sent via Remind. This is a text messaging service that allows us to text each other without having to actually exchange phone numbers. Some recommended materials is a webcam. I do allow some folks, I do allow in some assignments, excuse me, for you to record a video response instead of writing. It's up to you, regardless if you want to write or record a video. But if you do want to record, obviously you need some sort of webcam. You can use your iPhone cam, whatever, as long as you can submit a video response. And then I also recommend Canvas app for students, mostly because sometimes maybe you forgot an assignment was due and you're out. You can just pull out your phone real quick, go to the Canvas apps, complete the assignment, submit it, and then go back to whatever you were doing. So I do strongly recommend that you download the Canvas app for students. By the end of this course, you should be able to identify and explain significant key events. Identify and explain the significance of key events, people, places, and issues in African American history from its African roots to 1865. Identify and explain historical trends and common themes in Black history, and then summarize relevant terminology and theoretical concepts, right? So those are the three major student learning outcomes that you should be able to do at the end of this month that we're spending together. Classroom standard agreements. This is a lot of information. I encourage you to read through it. Again, some of the quizzes, some of the questions on the quizzes will be from this section, so make sure that you know it. Some of the things I do want to talk about, however, is names and pronouns. I know this is an online class. However, if you would have another name besides what's listed in Canvas that you prefer we call you, please just let us know. Let us know that, and we will honor your request. You can also update your name on Canvas by clicking your account profile, edit profile, and I'll show you how to do that when we go through Canvas if you've never done it before. The second thing I do want to talk about within this section is the trigger warning. I put this in the syllabus in order to kind of cover the entire semester in case we come across something that may be triggering and I forget to say, trigger warning. When we're talking about Black history, the history of Black folks in the United States is a violent history, not because of Black people, but because of those people who wanted to oppress Black folks. So the material we're going to be looking at is going to be violent. It discusses sexual violence, physical violence, mental violence, political violence, gender violence, all type of violence, right? Because it's just a part of the history. So this is a trigger warning. Now, I do want to explain what a trigger is versus just being uncomfortable A trigger is something that happens that causes you to relive a moment in your own time that was violent. So, for example, um, if a person experienced sexual violence, seeing, hearing, discussing sexual violence may trigger them into a physical or even a mental response. That's not the same thing as being uncomfortable, right? There's been many times in other classes online and in face to face where people were like, I just couldn't watch it. When I hear that, I will tell you straight up, I have no sympathy for it because I'm always like, imagine if you were living that, right? We have to honor what happened to Black people in our past. And unfortunately, that also looks like watching things that is violent so that you can really understand when we're talking about enslavement, when we're talking about the freedoms of Black people, that it wasn't like this pretty little picture that a lot of these K through 12 history books um, describe, right? So a part of honoring what they went through is actually being able to sit and listen and view and engage with the content of this class, right? Academic honesty, all I can say is please don't cheat. Every semester I have it. I'm not going to go through it. Everybody knows what plagiarism is. If you don't read it here, um, there is no such thing as accidental plagiarism. I do say to avoid accidental plagiarism, cite all of your sources. But I noticed that people who say they accidentally, they didn't know, it was very obvious that they knew that they were cheating. It's obvious to know that if you submit work that is not yours, that is an intentional, that's intentional cheating. That's intentional plagiarism. So please know, first time do it, it's an F. Second time, I will drop you from the class and report you to the dean. Okay. I honestly don't understand. There's really no reason that you should cheat. I try to give as many options for you not to cheat and do the assignment. So please just don't do it. Don't cheat. We will be using APA, the American Psychological Association format citation style. I have resources on Canvas. I've also have a link here that you can click and find out more information about that. In assignments where APA is required, I do give some examples of the way those things look. So please utilize all of those resources to ensure that you get credit for following directions. If you need any accommodations, please see our disability support services. I've listed their number here and then also their email. The last thing I'm gonna touch on is not everything within this section, but the last thing is sexual harassment and sexual violence will not be tolerated in this class or on Fullerton College campus. Now, what does that mean for an online class? It means do not send people text messages of you nude or in sexually explicit positions or anything that's sexual. Do not sext with each other. Do not do anything that would otherwise cause someone to have to be uncomfortable or to be violated. Okay, so again, if I find out that this happens, I have to report it as I am a mandated reporter. So please, please, please just don't do it. The next session is the student and campus resources. I try to put all of the online resources, specifically the Academic Support Center would have any of the tutoring, the skills, and things like that online. Um, I know that we're not face to face. A lot of us are not face to face. So if you do need like something like the Skill Center, my suggestion would be to email the Skill Center to figure out how to get that service online. For tutoring, I did put in the online link for online tutoring. When you click that, it gives you a form for you to fill out so that you can request that tutoring. Um, Also, I want to highlight the Emoja program. It is the only specifically program on our campus that centers Black students. So if you are a Black student and are in need of community, I do encourage you to sign up to be a part of the Emoja program. They not only provide essential educational support, they also provide a lot of things that contribute to academic success and retention. And especially because we're dealing with so much violence right now, they have been integral part of Black mental health. So I do encourage you, if you are a student of African descent, please sign up for the Emoja program. The last thing I want to highlight within those resources that is kind of irrelevant now is that we do have non-gendered bathrooms throughout the campus. Hopefully, when we get back face to face, all of them will be set up. I know there was at least two of them set up before we left. And then also we have a queer people of color group on campus. So if you need community or a person who is queer, trans, anything under the queer umbrella, please reach out to them and join their group. It does say queer people of color, but all people are invited to be involved with that group. Okay. If you need resources that's not within the section that I listed, you can go ahead and click here, and it gives you all of the resources that the college has to offer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop it here because we're already at 27 minutes, and that was really boring. But be sure to view this. Um, yeah. All right, we're going to talk about assignment summary in a different video.